Hi everybody, happy Monday and welcome back to another trading week. Hope you guys have done well today. So I wanted to continue the topic that we had last week. So Diane and I, we had a discussion midweek and we spoke about kind of the psychology behind why we don't hold our profits longer and why we hold our SLs too long. And obviously Diane takes us upon the kind of journaling side, whereas I take you upon the psychology side of things. And I know a few of you guys benefited a lot from the chat, and I just felt like we need to continue, we need to elaborate on it a bit more, and also kind of present to you visually kind of what we're trying to get at, so you have an understanding of what's going on whilst you're trading. Remember, I'll always keep saying this, with your trading, it's 80% psychology, 80% mindset. So anytime that you feel like you've had a bad day or you feel like you haven't stepped up, you haven't stuck to your rules, you've revenge traded, it all goes back to what's happening here. So we always have to reflect on what's going on with us, what's happening in our minds. You know, has something happened that day or recently in order to make us start kind of going down this discombobulated slope? Because our environment does affect us and it can affect the way that we trade. So definitely think we need to look into this. I'm just going to share my screen for you guys. Okay. Right. Okay, so we've got here the art of accountability. So the psychology behind big losses and small profits. We always have lots of questions, yeah, especially when we are not having the bestest day. We always question, why did this happen? You know, am I not good enough? Why did I do that? Especially the why did I do that? Because we could actually find ourselves doing the same habit constantly, knowing that we shouldn't do it, and we continue doing it. So there's a lot of questions with trading, and that can start to feel really heavy on us, because if we don't find the answers, we'll start to feel a little bit lost. And that's why I think it's really good, our community, because we've got so much support from people, you know, different places of the whole world, but also different backgrounds, different abilities, and different kind of levels and journeys into trading. So we can all really learn from each other here. So what I wanted to go over today, so why do we hold losses for too long? Why do we take profits too early? Sorry, there should have been an L there. Accountability and where it stems from. So that's mainly what we kind of spoke about last week. A few of you guys with blowing accounts, I think this would be really useful for. And motivation, as one of the ladies suggested earlier, kind of what can we do to motivate, to get motivated, especially when we've not had the greatest day, too many losses, or even if we've blown our accounts. Okay, so I'm just going to start off with the why do we hold losses for too long? Why do we take profits too early? Okay, so I've just got two pictures here. Sorry, the same picture. One that I'm going to discuss with you based on the SL, and one with the profit. So this is a trade that it was an amazing trade that I actually took, but I didn't hold for too long. I'm sure I just scalped it. And if you could see, I entered, I believe it was halfway down this last blue candle next to the green one, and I held it all the way down until the end of the wick before then it came up. Now, usually what happens when we see that the candle is going down, we think amazing, this is a great sell, and then we start to see the candle going up, we start seeing more of the wick. Now, that completely starts interfering with the way that our minds are working, because we start seeing the trade itself on our MT5, MT4, or Vantage, whichever one you guys use. We start seeing the profit reducing, right? Especially if the candle wick starts showing very quickly, you'll start seeing your profits reducing. Now, our brains seem to think we are losing money But what in fact is happening is that the trade is still running. It still hasn't finished where it's going. It's just moving, okay? All trades, all candles, everything that you see in the market is always going to move up and down, up and down, up and down, side to side, in a range, and we have to get used to that movement. Yeah, so that's why it's really good to use demos so you can kind of gauge the movement and start getting used to that. Now, I'm showing you this obviously because this is a trade that I took, and I think it's a great example of what happened after, because yes, the wick started to form, it got very long, and even though we were quite a bit into profit already, what you see is it goes up slightly and then the candle starts forming all the way down, comes up a little bit to form the wick, goes up again, you'll see that it would have reduced in profit, and then it shoots all the way down, and it actually continued way down. I mean, it went really far into a sell. So it did hit TP. So that could have been a brilliant trade for take partials. But also what I'm not suggesting here is to wait until TP. What I'm trying to show you is a visualization of how candles move, and that when we start feeling like it's reducing in profit, that we need to consider that, you know, we have an analysis, we've got a bigger picture. This is only the small part of the picture that's getting painted and performing at the moment. And, you know, we can't be too scared of what's going on here. And worst case scenario, what you could do, what you could have done, what I could have done is placed, I don't know why I've got that line there, that could have been an alert maybe, but could have placed your break even into there. So, you know, no matter what, if it did shoot up and start going the other way, that you would have come out still in profit in that section there where the dotted lines are. Yeah, and you can see it's not even gone to that section. It continued, went up a little bit and continued all the way down. It was an amazing trade that I just couldn't hold because of fear. Now, right, so if we look here on the left, it's the same picture, same trade, but what I want us to focus on is the SL section, okay? So just imagine if we had taken the trade at this candle for whatever reason. We might have seen that as a rejection, another rejection, we think, oh, it's going to go into a lovely sell now. And if our if our SL had been exactly where it is, but let's say we're now on this green candle, we could have watched it go all the way up, all the way up, all the way up, and thought, oh my God, it's not going into the sell that we had hoped for. And it could have hit our SL there. Or we might have taken the SL off, which some of us possibly have done or do, in the hope that it would have still turned around and we'd have let it go all the way up, hoping, would have gone past this top of this wick, hoping, and then we might have come out of the trade in fear, just here, thinking, oh my God, what have I done? I've held it for too long now, took the SL off, now I'm at an even more loss. And then guess what? You've come out of it, it's gone all the way to that top here, it's come shooting right back down, and then as you can see, it did end up going into a sell. Now, this is really important here because this is where the psychology comes in, this is where the ego is going. Your analysis is really good, your analysis is great, remember your analysis, remember you're going to make profit. It starts to give us all this information in our brain that it's fueled by fear and by our fight or flight response in our body, okay? Now, what we don't want to do is trade from there because we can make a lot of mistakes and end up regretting it. And this is where the deeper subconscious of our mind starts kicking in with all the doubts, all the fear, the worry, the concerns. Am I good enough? Am I not good enough? So it's super important that, let's say, for example, if you thought that the trade wasn't going in the direction that you wanted to, it's okay to come out of an early loss. Accept it. It's absolutely fine. Okay, I must have muddled up for a little bit. Even though we can see it did actually go into a beautiful sell, that early loss is a lot better for your mental health and your well-being of your trading experience than holding it and taking that SL off and hoping it would reverse, and then potentially you actually coming out of it of a worse loss and then watching it go the direction that you wanted to. If I was in your position, I would have taken, if I was in your position and feeling all those emotions, I would have taken it as an early loss and would have re-entered where I thought actually it is going the way that I wanted to. I hope that explains a little bit of what I'm trying to get at too, because what we do is we come out super early of our profits, but we continue holding our losses. And it should really be the other way. We should be relaxed in our profits and taking the acceptance, allowing us to accept what's happening with a losing trade. Sometimes we see straight away it's a losing trade, or we might have not realized that the news is on, which is going to cause our trade to come to reverse really quickly the other way. So when we see these things, if your intuition is telling you to come out, bearing in mind intuition and fear are very, very different. They are very different in our bodies. They come from different areas. That's something that could, over time, that you will strengthen also. But if your gut is telling you to get out, take the loss. Do not worry about it, because there are plenty other trades around that you can take and recover the losses and continue making profit. Okay, so accountability, just going on from that acceptance and being accountable for your early loss or for any losses that you incur. Now, the reason behind why we hold on to our losses and just hope and pray that it will reverse is because we do not want to be accountable for the loss. Okay, so when we are analyzing a trade, the market, we are looking for profit. Now, if we've placed a trade based on the analysis, what we're saying to ourselves is, I expect this to go the way that I wanted it because I'm here to make profit. Now, that's not the right way of thinking, because we never know what the market's going to do. But if you have that mindset, you are naturally not going to want to take accountability, because accountability is basically saying that your trade or your analysis wasn't correct this time. Okay, you did the best you could, but actually voicing that the analysis didn't go the way that you wanted it to can be quite hard. Now, the truth, as I've written here, the truth that we find, the truth is that we find it hard to take accountability because it means we have to accept our actions and responsibilities even when they haven't met our expectations. If you find it hard to share your truth, apologize in difficult conversations, spend a lot of time thinking about the past and anything from the list above, there is a higher probability that accountability will be more challenging to do unless practice. So unless you practice taking accountability over time, it will be difficult. Now, if you're somebody that has these areas in your characteristics that can be quite hard, it can be down to our past trauma, so our childhood and what we've incurred there, if there was anything that happened to us, our fears, the people who raised us, anything that they had drilled us with constantly, you must work hard for your money, or they would say you must go to uni, or you need to, you're not going to be great enough unless you get 3 A stars. Whatever we've been taught, those things stay in our subconscious. Our body stores that information, and then we almost play out this role of our character, thinking that we are the way that we are because that's how we came, or that's what we believe in. But actually, in fact, it's not. It's what we've been absorbing since our childhood. So our old habits. So if we've got habits, patterns that we've just incurred, again, from childhood, from any past trauma, from your environment, as I've put here, and also our beliefs. So our beliefs and our religion and our culture play a massive part in how we think today. If we come from a particular background, tradition, and we really believe in that. Sometimes, apologies, let's try and cut that one out. Oh, what's about to happen now? 1 second. That's our lovely Naz. Right, let's get back to it. If we've had traditions that we have stuck by for years, they become part of our habit. And it could be that within that, we have just not learned how to take accountability because of some beliefs that we have in what accountability might make us feel, or what it might do to us in the future, etc. So there are a lot of reasons why accountability is very difficult for us. And what I can say from personal experience is I had a lot of rage in me for years over a lot of things that happened in my childhood. And somebody once said to me, this was about 10 years ago now, somebody once said, make sure that if there's something that is not working out for you right now, that you change it. So you don't look to blame and change someone else, but you make the action and change it yourself. And what I noticed was anything that I was angry about, anything that I found that I kept saying, this is who I am, or beliefs that I had, or things that I, when sometimes someone asks you, oh, why did you buy that? And you say, well, I've done it for years, why not? Things like that. Question, why do you do it? Why do you say those things? Why do you use those words? Why are you fearful of this part of life, etc.? Because when you question it and you confront it, you then give the possibility to open up opportunities for change. And so I became someone who was very open, very truthful. Anytime that I made a mistake in life, I would voice it. I found apologizing and taking accountability for my actions very, very peaceful. And I think that's what gave me this calming self that I have, because I'm not fueled anymore from rage. I'm fueled from peace. Yeah. So, so if I were you, I would sit down, take a moment and really question why is it difficult for you to take accountability for your losses, which I don't really like to call losses, but hey, why, we're a little bit down with our capital or our funded challenge. And, why is it so difficult for us to accept that our analysis was wrong? It's okay. These things happen and it will happen throughout our trading journey. Right, so never ask a funded trader how many accounts they have blown. The most successful traders in the market have experienced everything you are experiencing multiple times. So if there is somebody who you're very inspired by in the market, ask Mark Douglas, who has written Trading in the Zone. If you were to ask him how many accounts has he blown, how much money he lost, I mean, the guy, he lost his whole entire I was about to say life, but it wasn't life. He lost all of his assets, his home, his car, all within the time that he was learning how to trade, and now he is one of the most successful people out there in the market, in the industry. So basically, it's not about never asking them how many accounts they've blown. It's just to know that everything that you are going through now, they have experienced it times 100. Okay, and look where they are at now. So yeah, really good to be inspired by other people, and just know that you're in good hands. You're safe, you're still on your journey, and you're still on the way to your goal. Okay, so for motivation, folks, so for anyone who's blown any accounts or down with their capital, are in with drawdown, if you have a drawdown in your challenge or anything, if you've had a difficult day or even a few days, and now it's just getting to you, now you don't even know what to do, you feel stagnant. The first thing I always say is do what you would have done if you wasn't trading. So if you just delete trading from your life right now, what would you be doing? What would you have been doing in this moment? Making a coffee? Would you have been on the phone to a friend? Would you have gone to a yoga class? Would you be walking your dogs? Would you be studying? Would you be singing? Would you be dancing? What would you be doing? And whatever it is, whatever comes to mind, go and do it. Do not question it. Just go and do it. Because what you're doing is changing your body's chemistry in that moment. If you're thinking about the losses and everything that's recently occurred to make you feel down, you are making yourself worse. Now, if you delete that from your brain and go and do what you would have done naturally, you're changing the way that your mindset is thinking, and now you're producing new emotions to doing something else. And I will add that to putting energy into things that you love to do. So if you do love to sing, go and sing. Sing really loud, keep singing until you start feeling that love and that happiness again in your body. Okay? Walk in nature, take some deep breaths, go and do a breathing meditation. I love to do this if anytime I start feeling random emotions that are going to make me feel a bit vulnerable, a bit fearful. It's very unusual these things happen to me now because my body is so used to, and it's programmed to start nurturing itself in times that might be a little bit challenging. So I don't really get a massive space of emotions that are negative and low anymore. My natural being just goes from, okay, shit, this happened, let me go and breathe. I don't have time to process the older emotions because my brain is now programmed to move on straight away. Okay, so feel just below here, feel, reflect, and move forward with a new plan of action. As Diane would say, get into your journey, your trading journals, start writing down everything that's happened, reflect on it, and make a plan of action to get you going forward and back to where you were in a good spot. So the last few that we've got here, verbal or written repetitive positive affirmations here on the top right hand corner. So what I like to do is if I ever feel that I'm slightly challenged or my brain is going into that monkey brain and I want to calm myself down, I especially if I've had a loss that could potentially make me feel a certain way, even though I know it's all good, I will write down possibly 10 times something that will make me feel good, potentially like I am a successful trader, and I will write that as many times as I can until I start feeling that motivation and that positivity once again. So writing these things down or saying them out loud in front of a mirror is really good as well. Or you can record yourself saying these positive affirmations and then listen to it at those times of need. And I think I'm almost finished. Write a list of 5 things you did that you are proud of or made you smile in the past week and why they made you feel that way. So this is again bringing your body back into memories of joyful stuff, happy things. So you're changing your body's chemistry right at that specific moment and allowing your brain to start remembering things that will provide you with positive emotions. So you can just reflect back on that last week and write 5 major things. And it could have been something like someone gave you a really big hug, somebody complimented you, maybe you helped someone out on the streets, a homeless person, maybe you borrowed, you paid someone back, money that you owed, anything that you felt you were proud of and that you were happy about. And lastly, remember your goal and visualize it. So sit down, vision what you had in mind from the get-go, from the moment that you created this new achievement of targets and goals. Just really focus, whether it was that massive luxurious car, whether it was a holiday, whether it was millions in your bank account or finding the love of your life, whatever it is, just sit down and visualize all those goodness and just allow that body to change its chemistry in that moment. So then you can feel positive again and reduce and demolish that ego, that monkey brain, and all those self-doubts that keep coming in. All right. I hope this information has helped you today, and let's just keep supporting each other, keep helping, keep sharing your thoughts and plans of actions. We're all helping each other one way or another without realizing sometimes. So yeah, I'm really appreciative of this community. So take as much in as you can, absorb as much as you can, and learn as much as you can. All right. Have a nice evening, guys, and we will catch up soon.